Hi everyone, it's Liam here from A Shot of Wildlife. In this video, I'm going to talk about 10 non-native species that are living wild in the UK. With various stories of how they were introduced, parakeets began being spotted regularly in the wild in the 1970s and had been seen occasionally decades before this. There is now thought to be more than 100,000 of these birds in the country, and their numbers are continuing to rise. They are mainly found in close proximity to cities and large towns, but they are gradually spreading into the countryside, where they come into competition with native species for resources and into conflict with farmers over the damage that they can cause to crops. The next animal on this list is actually two separate species, the yellow-bellied and the red-eared terrapin. Both of these were commonly kept as pets by people who had seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films. What started out as 50p sized aquarium-based animals soon outgrew their accommodation and were released to hundreds of sites around the country. They can live for 30 years and seem to do fairly well in urban ponds and freshwater streams, and thankfully they haven't been recorded as successfully breeding here yet. If the climate continues to warm, this might happen in the future, at which point the terrapins could pose a massive threat to freshwater invertebrates and fish. Speaking of fish, our next non-native is the king carp. These were brought to the UK by monks in the 12th century and were originally kept in ponds for food. They soon escaped into the wild, and due to a recent surge in popularity for this species as a target for anglers, they have been introduced to waterways around the country. Currently, their main impact seems to be that they can hybridise with the native and endangered Crucian carp, which isn't great. In the USA, where they are much more numerous, they are often treated as a pest species and removed from waterways if caught. The next creature is one that you may have heard about and that has received a lot of media attention, the Asian hornet. These are established in France, and since 2016 there have been 21 confirmed sightings and 12 nests found in this country. All of these were promptly destroyed, but the likelihood is that these winged predators will eventually colonise this country. Although they may seem menacing to humans, their real impact is towards bees and other pollinating insects. They often wait outside of beehives to snatch the bees from the air as they leave. Next up is another well-reported and impactful animal, the American mink. These relatives of the badger and the polecat were brought to the UK to be reared for their fur, but soon escaped into the wild and were first recorded breeding here in 1956. Over the coming years, they were unfortunately released by activists who wanted to protect them from the fur trade, but this bolstered their wild populations and they quickly spread across the country. As they colonised, they nearly wiped out the native water vole and had a massive impact on many other species. Over recent years, there has been a programme to eradicate mink, and in areas where this has been successful, the water vole is gradually recovering and recolonizing.